Welcome back to the Q&A show. This is your boy, Jason Avant. There's some exciting information that we found out about our team this upcoming week. We wanted them to beat the 49ers so we can have a little legitimate shot at a division title, good playoff run. We fell short, but there were still some positive things to come by that. Q, say what's up to the people so we can get into it.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be back again. Let's get into it, Jay.
Yeah, we're ready. And we want to say thank you to everyone that's making our show a success, everyone that is responsible, all the fans out there for tuning in each and every week. Continue to submit your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. We'll make sure that we'll get to those questions at some point in our future shows, maybe even this one. You never know. We want to say thanks to Jeff and to Adam, Hunter, Josh, everyone that's responsible at Inside the Birds for making this show a success. We want to say thank you guys out there. Make sure that you follow us, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also check out our show on the Inside the Birds platform on the YouTube channel, Amazon Music. We're giving you fresh fire each and every week. We're always excited to talk about the Birds. So thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. Q, let's get right into this show. Very, very tough loss, 17-11, 49ers. We had so many opportunities, Q. Yeah. I was sitting there throwing stuff. I was at the game. I'm like, oh, my gosh. So many squandered opportunities. Let's just get right into it. Eagles offense versus the 49ers defense, right? What do you think about the play calling? Nick Sirianni's play calling, Jonathan Gannon's play calling. But let's start off first with Nick Sirianni's play calling. What do you think about it?
Well, I think early on, and I said it earlier in the previous week that, versus a cover three, we have to definitely take our shots down the field. We got to push the ball down the field. And, we got the one big play to Quez down, on the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
And couldn't quite push that one in. But other than that, we didn't really connect on any down the field throws. And, for me, I thought that was something that we needed to try to do in this game. But you also have to be able to adjust, right? And if we're not connecting on those down the field throws, now we need to try something else. And it's tough because you got those young cornerbacks for the Niners, and I still believe that the Eagles receivers were a better match. I just think that those cornerbacks outplayed their cover. I mean, I think they played better than we thought they were going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because we had such a young receiving core, and maybe it was their first time kind of going against, a pro level a defensive attack like that for the second week down the field, But I think at some point you start with that game plan. And as they always say, the games are not won on the original game plan. They're won on the adjustments, right? So when we're not connecting down the field, you got to adjust it some kind of way, go to your tight ends over the middle, start to do some more intermediate passing game, start to run the ball more like we've been saying all the year. And, we just didn't quite adjust to it. And I think that's really the saddest part about losing this game is that we could have won if we'd adjusted.
Yeah. I agree. We're going to have to make some shots downfield, and we got a couple big ones to Quez, right? Quez had a monster game, I think a 50-plus yard average for the day. So he had a monster game out there for his few receptions that he had, which tend to seem that we need to incorporate him more into the offense, make him a more targeted player. But when you think about the play calling, and I think that everyone's going to focus on the last drive that the Eagles had before halftime. And even before then, the Eagles had a 3rd and 6, which we ran the ball on 3rd and 6. That was kind of mind-blowing to me. And then we had a 3rd and 3 where he had Dallas Goedert in the flat right away. But we rolled it left, and people think, okay, you got Dallas Goedert in the flat right away. But when you are rolling a right-handed quarterback left, it takes more time. He doesn't feel comfortable with that throw that's outflanking right away because his shoulders are not square. Therefore, why do you run a rollout left with a right-handed quarterback? Some things just don't make sense, and that there did not make sense.
Yeah.
So there was more plays, and then when you get down to the goal line, and let's go from the pass interference. Quez makes the 91-yard play, gets down to the 6-yard line. Few plays Devontae Smith pass interference on Josh Norman. We get to first and goal from the 1. First and goal from the 1, we want to roll it out to the right, get a little cute on a rollout, right? 49ers have been punching us in the face all afternoon, even in the first half, with quarterback sneaks. Why not just sneak it in, coach? You can sneak it in 3 times. Even if it doesn't work, try to sneak it in. That's just a good football play from the 1 yard line. Okay, so we don't decide to sneak it in. We don't run it. We roll out. The next play, we hand it off right to Miles. Fred Warner, being a Pro Bowler that he is, one of the best middle linebackers in the game, makes a play. Now you're stuck with a 3rd and 3 or 4, 3rd and 3 from the trying to get into the goal line, right? So trying to get a touchdown. So the next play, we run a read option, same side read option. Right, same side. So you got a lead blocker half. So they're out there just fiddling with the ball for 3 or 4 steps, and then Jalen finally decides to take it and gets pushed out sideline too quick. The last play, we run a different version of Philly special, right? So we run a different version of Philly special, and this is where this irritates me. This one, the Philly special play irritates me, not because it was an aggressive. He was being aggressive, right? I'm not worried about that. I like for him to be aggressive, but Philly special is made for man-to-man coverage. It's not made for zone coverage, right? So they thought they had man-to-man because they had the running back go all the way out to the right and come back to the backfield, but he didn't cross the formation. When you cross the formation, it gives you a solid indicator if it's man or if it's zone. So they didn't design it properly where a guy in motion was crossing it so they can be able to tell if it was man or zone. So the 49ers duped them. He came in motion. The linebacker comes back into the box, which is standard, right? Because he didn't change formations. And now you get tricked into thinking it was man coverage when it wasn't. But if you cross the formation, now you can tell, and now you can kill that play to a better play. And then here you go. The other part of the Philly special play that most people may not recognize. Who ran Philly special originally? Nick Foles. It was successful with Nick Foles because no one is keying on him because he's not a threat in the run game at all. When you have a running quarterback, there's always going to be a man assigned to him, even in zone, right? You always have to account for the quarterback. So if it was man or if it was zone, because it's Jalen Hurts, somebody's going to have an eye on him. So therefore, the play is not as successful. You need a player like Flacco to run that play where they don't have to account for him at all. And that's how that play is successful. Not Jalen Hurts. With a running quarterback where you have to count him, it's not going to be successful in man or zone. And so therefore, I didn't like the play at all.
At all. Yeah. I mean, you broke it down. That's 100% right there. I mean, and it's just frustrating too because that's a play. I mean, that's game 2, right? That's a game. That's a play that maybe you can bring out later on in the year where we're a little bit more successful and have a little bit more understanding of who we are as a team and what we can do as a team. I don't think that was the right time to make that call for a lot of reasons, but you just broke that down like butter right there, man. Like, I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, dude, the free safety is going to be closer and going to be responsible for him no matter what. But they did get tricked with the man in zone, right? Because sometimes the linebacker go back, but he came back in the box. But if you send him across the formation, now you know for sure if he's with him or not. And I didn't think that they executed that at all. So let's continue to move right on, right? Thoughts on Sirianni's 4th and goal play? We just discussed that. What else did you think they sputtered in? Like, I felt that they stuck with the run game. We always talk about that as Eagles fans, right? Our team never sticks with the run game. They stuck with the run game throughout the game. They got some positive yards in the run game. I'm going to tell you in a little bit what I think happened. But other areas that you felt like they sputtered in, did they run the ball too much? Do you think they should have got out of the run quicker and started to pass it a little bit more? What do you think about that?
No, I think the game was still close, and you definitely have to continue to run. You don't want Joey Bosa teeing off, on your O-line all game. You want to have those guys, your offensive line, the ability to fire off the ball and at least have the opportunity to, fire off and not just be catching all game. So I do think that even if it's not as successful as you would like, you need to continue to run the ball. And I don't think that really was a big deal in a close game like that. Obviously, if you're down by a little bit more, that's a different story, but still a close game right there. So I still think that sticking with the run was the right thing to do. One thing I do, and I've been saying it all year, one thing that I do think definitely sputtered was defensively. I don't think we put enough pressure on Garoppolo. We did blitz one time, and then when we did blitz, he almost threw a pick. And that's what I didn't. I was going nuts. We blitzed and got pressure on him, and he threw a ball that was too early on the sideline, and Steven Nelson almost picked it off. He should have picked it off, really.
Should have picked it, yeah. That was good defense by Debo, trying to keep it away from him.
Yeah. But that's a perfect example of a guy like Garoppolo is a type of quarterback that you have to pressure because he will make mistakes, and he will do them he will make the mistakes at the worst times. And on that play, it was just an overload blitz to his right, and he felt the pressure and just let it go before the receiver was even ready. And I'm like, okay, that's it. Let's keep going. And then we never went back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
So sputtering parts for me in the game, Q. I hate when I see receivers getting plastered.
Yeah.
And yes, Diamador, Lanier, we underestimated them, Johnson, a few other guys that were out there. They played well against our team. We kind of exposed Josh Norman, a lot of penalties, different things like that. Okay. But when you look at small detail things, I know we're going to get frustrated with the refs, with the legal touching with Jalen Reagor, because we're going to say, hey, if it was legal touching, it should be pass interference first. But when you look at that route, it was a bad route. You could have did a lot more. So there's a sideline as a receiver when you're outside. The sideline is undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. It never goes anywhere. It never missed a tackle. It never misses a call. The sideline is undefeated. And your goal is to try to stay away from that sideline. As a receiver, if you have a go route on and there's a man in front of you, you do not run around him at all, because he's going to push you wider and you're going to end up near the undefeated player on their team, which is the sideline.
Yep.
So therefore, I run directly at the defender to try to save space, and I try to pass him as tight as possible, give him a move to the inside to get him to move out of his spot so I can save space just in case the quarterback throws it near the sideline, and I can make an adjustment to go get the ball. But if I run routes around people, remember, people, I tell you, football, you cannot run around in this game. You either go through, you make a man move so you can continue on your path. That's the only way you can play this game. You go through people, you make people move out of their spots. You do not go around them. Perfect example, just route technique. He's faster than him. He's a better player than him, but the DB had perfect technique. The more talented player, which is Jalen Reagor, did the route the wrong way. You end up with a legal touch and a nullified touchdown.
Yep.
Those are simple things. We had a deep ball on that same drive a little bit earlier to Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts rolls out right, but didn't have the urgency, just like practice. He goes and makes it look real pretty with the play action. He's rolling. He's looking good, like a nice thoroughbred, but he's too damn slow to the plays in the game is a lot faster. You have to move with urgency, get plant, and throw the ball. The ball's short. Devontae can't make the play. 49ers get in position to knock the play down. But Devontae Smith had 2 steps on the guy. Therefore, if he had the same urgency to get the ball out, we make a play.
Yep.
Those are little things. So therefore, to me, it's encouraging because this is a young team and they're going to learn from these mistakes, but it's extremely frustrating. And I don't necessarily think that that's the play calling. When I'm going back and looking at the film, I'm looking at receivers just running the line. They're not giving any definition on their routes, no snaps, nothing that's going to make the defender near them think twice about driving on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just running to the spot and turning and leaning back and stuff like that. Those things get you hurt, get you beat. And in this game, versus a team that was well disciplined and had a defensive line that played really well, those are some things I thought that we sputtered in. And there's multiple other, things that happen in this game, and we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, one of the things that you just made me think about that. So when I was on doing my internship coaching with when Chip was in the building, Corey Unlin was here. He was a secondary coach, and I noticed him on the sidelines for the Niners. And one of the main things that he used to do, and I could definitely tell because you could see our cornerbacks not our corners, the Niners cornerbacks down the field squeezing. But one of the main things, he'd always have the equipment staff spray paint a red line about a yard down the entire side of the field, right? And so that line was for the defensive backs. And they knew that if they had a go route on the outside, that red line, they needed to squeeze the receiver outside of that red line and keep him outside of that red line, because that red line is what receivers are taught to have to leave themselves as much space, like you said, to adjust on the last minute throw, right? And so to me, that's something that I know that the Niners, I know Corey Unlin always, that was like one of his big things, is he always made sure that we had that red line on the field and that guys would know how to squeeze everything to the sideline. And you could see it coming into play on those routes down the field.
Yeah.
And, that's just funny that you said that, because I that's something that their coaching staff, I'm sure their defensive coaching staff worked on. And maybe now it's something that these young receivers will learn from, hopefully.
Yeah, that's it. And so I don't think that we ran the ball too much. I just don't think that we executed. And we got saved too. That first half, it was the 49ers offensive blunders.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They dropped passes. They were slipping. They were missing blocks. They had about 4 or 5 screens that could have went 15, 20 yards in that first half. Right? That just didn't work out. A guy tripped. The guy did. It was something weird. Debo dropped the pass. Like, it was just very, very bizarre for them. And it kind of kept us in the game. Right? So I don't think that I think that we were fortunate enough to be in that game early, because they made a lot of mistakes, and we had a chance to take control of the game because of their mistakes, which would have changed the entire complexity of the entire game, because the complexion of the game, because now you make this team one-dimensional, and they're not as good where Jimmy Garoppolo is one-dimensional. They're great when you got a plethora of screens and runs and all of this stuff, but when you make him just be a quarterback and he has to throw it to win, the game is in our favor. And I don't think that we put enough pressure on them to be able to get it to that point. When they made their mistakes, we didn't capitalize enough on it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's keep going. Landon Dickerson, 2 major injuries. Brandon Graham, Brandon Brooks. Brandon Brooks is, can't get right now. Peg muscle, they're putting him on IR. I didn't like the language of this either. It's like they threw him under the bus this time. The reports were that Brandon Brooks is going to IR, but basically it didn't have to be a season-ending injury. Like some of the reports, it was like he's going on IR, but it didn't seem like it would be a season-ending injury. Like, no, this guy has had a pec injury before, and can he fight through it? A pec is only going to tear at some point.
It's only going to get worse.
It's only going to tear at some point. It's not like something it's going to tear at some point. So you might as well give the team the assurance of, okay, let's get Landon Dickerson going, rather than we're trying to get him back and him tearing it when he gets back. So I didn't like the way they put it out there in the media. But Landon Dickerson plays. What do you think about his play, his performance? I can tell you what I thought about it, but I always let Q go first.
I thought he looked okay. I think I was expecting him to be able to be a little more fluid. He seemed a little stiff. He seemed like to almost stand straight up, and
Yeah.
it's weird because he's so powerful and strong. It didn't seem to affect him as much, but I was hoping that he would be a little more fluid in his hips and come off the ball a little bit better. I think pass blocking wise, I think he did okay, and maybe it's just his first game, and maybe he'll kind of work into the position now. But I was expecting a little bit more from him.
Yeah. The second half of a Q is when you begin to notice it.
Yeah.
Because I thought that our first drive of the second half, the game changed.
Yeah.
That's when the 49ers D-line, first down, we get 5 or 6 yards with Miles right side. Second down, we try something. We hit 2 tight ends on Nick Bosa. He beats both of them.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh my goodness.
Right? I'm like, he made the first one with, goes around Goddard, sack. Right, gets to him. The next play, that's when you see Landon Dickerson whiff and, give up another pressure. Deep throw. Devontae had a chance on making it, but gets up. And I thought that drive was the tone setter for the 49ers for the rest of the half. And that's when you begin to see more pressure and more blitzes from the 49ers. And a lot of those first 2 pressures that Nick Bosa had, those were on a blitz as well, right? So they begin to light up Hurts a little bit, made him more uncomfortable, made him not trust the offensive line. He began to see a little ghost every now and again. He's still poised.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start getting that much pressure, you begin to escape a little bit quicker. And I thought that Landon Dickerson, when it came to pass protection at times, like you said, was a little high. And he got beat. Some stunts were too much for him with not enough practice reps. And I think that he's going to be better with a full week of practice than, just being thrown in the fire. That always happens. Whenever the backup is thrown into the game, the first game, he's never the same, especially offensive lineman. But the subsequent games, the games after that, the games after that, he's usually well. He's just going to do well. So I'm not really worried about Landon Dickerson. I think he's still a good player, and I think he's going to show up for our team. Q, let's get into the defensive side of the ball. Because we talked about, Jalen Hurts and some things that he can improve on. Nick Sirianni mentioned some of the things in the press conference of how he should do things. And let's talk about the defense. D'Amico Ryans called a game.
Yeah.
Right? Called a game. 11 points, 3 in the first half, 8 in the second half. Stopped us when we needed some critical points. Dialed up some blitzes in critical moments. Some stuff that we did not do. Eagles defense. The 49ers defense. How much credit do you think he gets?
Oh, he gets all the credit. And the thing to me, the thing that I love the most is that he played his game. He didn't get beside himself as a coordinator. He understood what he had outside. He made sure those guys were prepared and understood, where they're supposed to be, and what coverages they're supposed to be in. There was no blown coverages. Like everyone, for the most part, was where they were supposed to be. Even on the long throw, to Quez, it was just there was coverage right there. It was just a phenomenal catch, phenomenal
He's
throw.
a better athlete.
But to me, the biggest part about that was seeing the Niners chase Quez down.
Great angle by Javon Guitar. Great angle.
Get him down. Like that right there, that's coaching, that's hustle, that's fire, that's want to, right? At the end of the day, when you get a bomb thrown on you like that, not everybody in the secondary wants to be that guy chasing down, being on SportsCenter. You don't want to be that guy. But the fact that they chased and ran Quez down, who was very fast. I know he had a great angle. Tart had a great angle. But that shows you the type of fire and desire that defense had and how hard they were playing for their defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I thought he called a phenomenal game. Again, like he played within the defense. He called he made some great calls, some great stunts, some great blitzes when needed to. And he had our number.
Yeah.
That was it.
like I said, he dialed it up that second half. Like,
Oh yeah.
I thought that he dialed it up, especially those first couple drives. He dialed it up. He dialed up blitz. He made Hurts uncomfortable. Our receivers weren't, getting open as well. And just think about that play with Javonski Tart. Javonski Tart is a high 4'5", 4'6". He's a 4'6" guy.
Mm-hmm.
Technique, ladies and gentlemen. When I was looking at it, I was like, I know this guy is not about that, because I know he's not going to catch squares.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of fading on the catch. You have to do it in order to make the catch. That's a couple seconds. The guy gets a step and gets going, right? But he made a lot of effort, and that's the power of technique, taking the right angles, being a good football player, and kept us out of the end zone. Yeah. That effort play kept us out of the end zone, and I always grimace when you have a 90-yard, 70-yard play where a guy's running open and field and you don't score, and he doesn't score, because it's so much harder to get the ball in the end zone inside the 10 than it is from 20, 30 yards away.
Oh, yeah.
It's harder. It's a shorter field. It's not many plays. Everyone knows your plays. It becomes a very hard challenge unless you're running the ball straight and moving people and getting yards, Yeah. If not, it puts you in a bad situation. Q, let's transition. Let's transition to the Eagles defense. How do you think the Eagles defense played against the 49ers offense as a whole? 49ers offense presents so many different challenges. Like I said, you got the screen game, you got the zone run scheme, you have the tight end that you have to worry about, you got Deebo Samuel, who you have to worry about, you got Ustek, who you have to worry about. There's a lot of guys that you got to think about on their offense. How do you think our defense held up? They gave up 17 points. Could have been more, but they kept them to 17. Had two really long drives, 85-yard drive, 97-yard drive. We lost Brandon Graham, but how do you think that our defense played?
I think given what we have, especially in the middle of our defense, in the back seven, I thought holding them to 17 points, was not bad. I think obviously they helped us out, like you said early on, especially early in the first half. They had some plays they left on the field, but for the most part, our defense was playing discipline. This is a very difficult offense to play defense against, because like I said, it's a lot of zone run, a lot of play action, a lot of boots. If a team is very good at running boots, like this is very similar. If you look at the Rams offense, it's very similar to that, where it's a lot of zone, a lot of boots, a lot of screens off of it. So if you get in the game, you're not reading your keys and you're not playing discipline every single play, it could be for a long day, right? And so that score, that 17 points, could have easily been way worse if they weren't playing as disciplined as they were. And so I think that they did well. I just think personally, I think in a close game like that, you need to start taking some opportunities. You can't just sit back in your zone and just wait for them to make mistakes all game, because a team like this won't make very many mistakes. Sometimes you got to take a chance and force them to make mistakes.
Force them.
And obviously losing Brandon Graham was huge. I think that's going to be bigger than a lot of people may or may not know or understand. Like, he was the heart and soul of that D line, him and Fletch. He did a lot. I mean, sometimes he plays 3 technique. Like, he does a lot for that defensive front. And so it's going to be tough to replace him, but my heart goes out to him, and, hopefully he's back again next year. But I think given the situation, I think the defense did okay.
Yeah. See, Brandon he plays the run as well as he gets to the quarterback. And it's very, very rare that you find a defensive end that does both at a high level. Yeah. And he's always a leader in the team with tackles for loss. He's always in the backfield, even if he's not making a sack, which a lot of times we judge every defensive end by. But he's making yards. He's making plays behind the line of scrimmage. and you can't just run it on his side and just think it's going to be a free goal. No, he's trying to make that play. Mm-hmm. So losing him is definitely big. He is the heart and soul. He's always been a vocal leader. He gets the guys going by talking junk against the other team. There's a bunch of things that he does, and he's just a great human being. So to see him go down like that, when I saw the nature of it and how long it took him to get up, the first thing I thought was an ankle. Then when he stayed on the ground, I'm like, oh, man, that's an Achilles. So you hate to see a veteran go out like that. Brandon Brooks as well. As far as the Eagles defense, I thought that we played sound football, that for the most part we tackled well. Mm-hmm. And you kept a good offense to 17 points. And that's the only thing you can ask for from a defense, ultimately. Yeah. Do I think that we had more plays to be made out there from a defense? Yes. Even a touchdown before half, just like little things. Steven Nelson, end zone, for some reason gets caught up with the tight end, looking at the tight end rather than staying being the furthest man out on his own. I was like, why are you looking at? Did he think he was at nickel for a second, Q?
I have no idea.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe he thought because when they came in motion or what have you, he squeezed down a little bit and he was in no man's land. I'm like, you don't see the receiver outside of you? You're supposed to be wide as the widest in the zone, but you're looking at the tight end. He just lost his mind for just a second. And that's what happens. New players, new defense, second game. It happens. It happened at a terrible time, and we end up giving up a free touchdown, which you would never see this defense do again the entire year. But in that moment, it happened to a veteran player, and it was just mind-boggling.
That's the most basic. That was with stick nod, right? Stick nod comeback.
It was double stick nod,
and it's the most basic red zone route that
exactly. The guy goes out and then he's coming back in, and we just lost track of this guy because we were looking at George Kittle, and it was mind-boggling that a veteran made that play, but it seemed like he thought that he was at nickel for some reason. I don't know how,
it could
but
be.
it looked like he thought he was at nickel for some reason. And
because there was nobody even out there.
Yeah, because he tightened down. Like I was like, what? Okay. So, but you won't see that happen. The rest of the year, that won't happen again. Now, the part that I say that we left stuff out there, you get Derek Barnett when it's time to stop a team with a dumb penalty. Can't have that. This is not his first time. He's had multiple over his career. And at some point we have to be the smarter football team. Especially when we're not the most talented team. I was talking to David Culley about this last week, and we were talking and I said, hey coach, you guys aren't the most talented team, but you guys play hard. He's like, Jason, I know. That's all I want from him. We don't have the most talent. So that means that we have to be smarter. That means that we have to make less mistakes. That's what that means. When you're not the most talented roster, when you don't have a roster like the Chiefs or a roster like the Buccaneers, a roster like the Ravens, so on and so forth, where you're talented, you're stacked up and down, you have to make mistake-free football. And in those moments when your team needs to stop, it's going to be third and long, you get a bonehead penalty like that, it just makes no sense to me at all. And then the other thing that didn't make sense to me as far as the defense is concerned, Q, why in the heck, I won't say hell, is Jonathan Gannon, when we need a stop, 2nd and 9, the game on the line, they get a first down, we lose. Why are we in zone coverage? We give up an 8-yard route to Houston. I can't even say his name, the fullback, because he's just running free in zone. Like, no, the game is on the line. There's only 2 coverages you play. That's man and that's zero, which is another form of man. We need the ball back. You can't sit back and cover 4, cover 2 at this time of the game. No.
Yeah.
Light him up, make him make a mistake, and let's put a man on a man. I would rather lose with my best against his best and not a zone defense when a game is on the line. I just did not understand that, and I almost broke the television at that moment because I was on my way back home after the game. Fourth, not after the game, but started fourth quarter. I left the stadium. I was back at the house by then.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I didn't get that, Q. I don't know. I didn't get that.
I don't get it either. And this is what I've been saying all year. And the fact that, and I hate to go back and say I told you so and all that stuff, but in the preseason, it's the same thing. You can't just sit back in the zone because that's what happened. It becomes your default in every situation because you think that it works and you don't ever try anything new. And so that was what my frustration is. The time to take those chances is in the preseason. The time to go zero coverage is in the preseason. So now and now you have coaching tape. So now you understand that going into game 2, if we need to call that, we're ready to do it. And so I think personally, that we have not done enough of those situations. We haven't done enough blitzing. We haven't done enough zero blitzes. We haven't done enough man. And I don't think he felt comfortable calling it. And that's exactly what happens when the game's on the line. As a coach, you're not going to feel comfortable. So you're going to kind of fall back on what you're used to doing and put your team in the situation to play. They're going to play soft and they're going to be smart and they're going to let them catch it and get, 10 yards and get a first down and then the game's over. Yeah. And so like that won't stand here, right? Schwartz was a great. He's a great defensive coordinator, but he did the same exact thing. And we can't have that, right? You got to take some chances.
And that's the moment, Q. Yeah. The game's on the line. They get one first down, you lose. I would rather them beat me getting the first down by me coming after their ass.
Yep.
That's the only way you can do. Like if I'm going to go down, I'm going down with punches. I'm not going down, backing up.
Especially with Garoppolo. Like,
yeah,
of all the quarterbacks that you want to blitz, this is the guy, right? He's not a rookie. He is a starting quarterback. He's the guy that you definitely want to be coming after because he's going to throw something up. Right? This is the game to do it.
Yeah.
So,
The other play that drove me nuts, and I was the play that drove me nuts, Q, is the Kayvon Wallace play.
Oh my God! Oh, I almost lost it.
I don't know how. What do you want the defender to do? Referees, National Football League. What do you want the safety to do in that situation? There's a guy that's getting low. He's lowering his head. He's not even trying to hit the guy in the head. He's trying to get him down by doing an ankle tackle away from his head.
Yep.
And he gets the ball out on a critical play, which is a bang, bang play, which he is not defenseless at all. How does this work? This is dumb. There's nothing more he can do. If he goes high, he's going to get knocked back for 5 yards with a helmet right in his sternum.
Yep.
That is idiotic. It's not good for the game. And as a football player, when we're looking at this game, there is nothing more that Kayvon Wallace can do but get low in there to make the stop and try to get him down before the first down, but go low in that situation. And he was as low as you can get, trying to avoid head across the bow, perfect technique in order to get it done to knock the ball out.
What else do you want? That's I have nothing.
Oh gosh.
It almost feels like the refs throw the flag after they see the reaction of the runner. Like, oh, he's hurt. That's got to be a flag. Like, that's what it felt like. I don't know what else he could have done on that. I mean, honestly, I'm agree with you 100%. And the worst part about it is the penalty, man. Like the penalty, the turnover, all of that. It just turned the entire game around.
Yeah, that's momentum. That's momentum. We needed something to happen. The guy makes a play, a great football play in any era, even in today. That play is not being called for the rest of the year once they see that tape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Once you see this tape, this is the play that's going to circulate throughout the league this week. The NFL is going to give the Eagles a letter saying we were wrong with this play, and now the officials are going to officiate the game different because of this play.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it sucks for us, but it's good for everybody else.
Yep.
It's wrong, man. That's wrong. And it's the same way, like you said, you look around and see if the guy's hurt. Schofield gets smacked by Alex Singleton. They throw a flag, then pick it back up. No, that was a clean hit the entire way.
Yeah. Same thing happened in the Penn State Auburn game. Right on the goal line. It's like you're supposed to just let the guy score. I mean,
yeah,
it's getting out of hand, man.
It's football, man. We signed up for this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that you hurt defenseless players. These guys have the ball in their hand. They're trying to use weapons against you. Their forearm and their stiff arm is a weapon. Their helmet is a weapon. Their shoulder being lowered is a weapon. You have to stop them.
Yep.
Listen, I'll go on all day. That had me hot.
Listen.
Hot.
To all the fans out there, this is an offensive player talking like that, right? Defense. We've been saying this for years. So now offensive player, finally is showing you guys how ridiculous it's become for defenders, right? This is ridiculous. They got to change something, man. It's getting out of hand.
It has to. It has to.
Mm-hmm.
Big. More playing time for Ryan Kerrigan. More playing time for Josh Sweat. Some other guys are gonna have to step up and come around. I'm pretty sure we're gonna pick up somebody. Brandon Graham down. Ryan Kerrigan had more snaps than Josh Sweat this week, 32-28. What do you think about that, Q? Think that's an issue, or what's that telling me? Think that's the knee? What do you think that is?
I'm assuming that he's on a pitch count.
On a pitch count?
Yeah, I think, especially based on what you were telling me about his knee, they probably got him on a pitch count, and also they realized that with BG going down, they're probably going to need to use Kerrigan a little bit more, so get him some reps and get him ready. He's a vet, man. He knows what he's doing, but you still want to get him out there and make sure he's in the flow of the game. And I think moving forward, we're probably going to see a lot more of Kerrigan, and we'll have Sweat on a pitch count just to make sure his knee is good to go. Yeah,
I agree with that. Like, I just think a pitch count, knees hurt, those types of things. But we need more from Derek Barnett.
Yeah,
the guy that's prone to get a lot of penalties, unnecessary penalties, great production for a first-round pick. A guy that broke Reggie White's sack record at Tennessee. We had very high expectations. He played well early first year, so we were expecting a lot more these upcoming years, and he's underperformed for where he was slotted in the draft. And this has been our MO as a team. Like, a lot of guys that's been drafted high hadn't performed for our team, and therefore we go 4-11 last year. Yep. These guys are going to get more and more playing time. We're going to see who's going to rise to the top. With Derek Barnett in the contract moment in time, can he show up and make a play for the team, make some money for himself, and get us to where we need to go? Without Brandon Graham, more playing time. Ryan Kerrigan turn back the clock? So I'm curious to see how this will go. So I'm curious to see how this will go.
Well, it's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. DraftKings is kicking off another week of action by giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $1 on any football game this week and receive $150 in free bets instantly, no matter what. And this football season, all customers can swing big with DraftKings same-game parlays. Same-game parlays allow you to combine multiple bets for a bigger payout. This week, place a same-game parlay on any NFL game, and you will be credited up to $25 if your bet loses. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code ITB to receive $150 in free bets instantly when you place a $1 bet on any football game. That's promo code ITB to get $150 in free bets instantly. This week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and older and Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Metals Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sweet, Q. Support for Q&A is brought to you by Manscaped, the champion of the world for men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they just launched their fourth-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard it right, 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Q&A at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with the sleek, well-designed, optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I've tried the 4.0 and I'm blown away with the craftsmanship and details are second level. Nobody wants to get hurt down there. You know what I mean. So Manscaped engineered the ultimate growing and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredible, comfortable grooming experience. Their fourth generation trimmer has a cutting edge ceramic blade that reduces those accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. You got to be comfortable down there. Facts. This upgraded trimmer also has a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock and has 4,000 K LED spotlight that can turn on and off for more precision on your shave. The new Lawnmower even allows you to customize your trim with guard lengths sizes 1 through 4. How about wireless charging? Their new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction to help the battery last longer. Men, you can't use the same trimmer on your nuts and face. Nobody needs pubes in their mouth. Get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped. Make me time the best time, like Jason Avant always does. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code QA at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code QA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code QA. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Nick Sirianni here. There were some things said in press conferences that I don't necessarily know that he knows this town well enough. I think that he thinks that everyone is his friend. And I think there is going to be some times where he's speaking a little bit too much and about things that he may not want to get out there in the media, and even some decisions that he makes. I don't necessarily know if questioning his own self in the Philadelphia media is going to be, beneficial to him long run. So let's get right into that. Nick Sirianni said he take the fourth down call back. Is that dangerous for the head coach to second guess himself? The public likes honesty from a head coach, but also wants the head coach to coach with a purpose. Did he not call the play thinking it would be successful? These are the things that come to our mind. What do you think about him admitting that he wants that play back?
Yeah. Well, going to your question. So to me, it's always a tough thing, right? Because as people in the media, you kind of always want the coach to be more open and to talk more and to really tell you how he feels and not just Belichick give you one word answers, or Andy we got to do better. So it's tough because he's being truthful and he's being sincere in the things that he's saying. So that part of it is refreshing that he is being open and candid. But as former players, I don't think that's the right thing to do. We as players, we always have that mentality, right? It's everything is in the locker room. We keep everything inside. Nobody gets to see. There's no chinks in the armor. Like nobody can see anything. Like we were just united front, right? Our coach is united with our players, like everyone's on the same page. And I think in that moment he was being candid and he was just trying to be himself and really answer the questions as honest as possible. But in this city, especially, you have to understand that is a sign of weakness, and that's a sign that someone can just put their finger in there and just start to pry the team apart. You cannot have those situations. And so hopefully this is a learning situation for him as a young coach. Is like, maybe I shouldn't say as much as I just said.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
So I'm gonna let you continue to talk. Let me just fill the audience in on the things that he said, and I want Q to continue to expound upon that. On Monday, Sirianni said this about Jalen Hurts: I thought he played a good game. Was it the same type of game he played week before? No. But there were just some things that we need to clean up. Maybe a misread here or eye discipline here. But again, I thought he did a lot of things well. Got to the right place with the ball. I wanted him to be on time a couple of other things, a couple of other times that he wasn't. But he went to the right place with the ball for majority of the game, and he made a lot of plays with his feet when things weren't there because a couple of times their guys got through. But I think the protection was really good in our game. The protection was outstanding. Our offensive line did a phenomenal job against a very stout front. What do you think about that? How much information can we glean out of that? And is that like something that Jalen Hurts is going to be like, man, why do I have to answer questions about what the head coach is saying about me rather than putting on, he did it. Jalen would tell you because we didn't win, all of us need to play better. All of us need to coach better. Yeah. Just something very vanilla like that.
If those same exact words about his play came from Jalen Hurts, then I would have no problem about it. As a head coach, you and me, in my opinion, he just threw him under the bus. We as fans and media people, we may or may not know exactly what he's being coached, and we may not know that he had bad eye discipline on a certain play. Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna go look for it, right?
Yeah.
We may not know, if the line was perfect or not. Now we're gonna go look for it. So that's a situation where he didn't need to say anything like that. If it did come out, it should have been from Hurts' mouth, like, I gotta do better, I gotta have better eyes down the field, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. The second the head coach starts doing that stuff, it starts to create kind of a rift where it feels like you're saying that we're all in this together, but I'm the only one that's getting blamed by your speech. You know what I'm saying? And, it's unfortunate because, like I said, I think he was really just trying to be honest and really just trying to be candid. But this is the NFL. You can't do that because every little bit of space that someone can get in there and start prying things apart, they're going to take advantage of every little thing. And you don't want to give any of these teams, any of the media, you don't want to give them anything, right? And so I would chalk this one up as a rookie head coach mistake, and something that hopefully he doesn't make a habit of down the line.
Yeah, we always talk about the term is that when a guy scores touchdowns and shows his butt with all these dance moves, we say, as a coaching staff, act like he's been there, but he hasn't been there, right? Yeah. So in this situation, he's a new coach, and so I think that he deserves, the benefit of the doubt. Do I think anything that he said was malicious? No, I don't think that he was being malicious. I thought that he was answering questions in an honest manner. However, when you get to that path and how, reporters can turn this around and how a half statement can become front page news in Philadelphia, because basically what you're saying is, he missed a few reads. He had bad eye discipline at times. And also the offensive line played well. So therefore, he had everything that he needed in order to win this game, and he didn't do it. So that's when you begin to unpack what he said. And that's the way the media is looking at it. That's the way Jalen Hurts is looking at it. And you don't want to create a division by something you said in the media. So keep it as vanilla as possible. I think that we all could play better. That includes Jalen Hurts, myself. I can coach better. The offensive line can play better. Defensive line, whatever it takes in order for us to get the win. That's how I'll answer those questions throughout the whole year. So you guys can keep trying if you want to, but that's going to be my answer for the entire year. So I think you try to keep people out. You coach guys up on the things that you need them to get better at on the field, and the guys will respect you and go a long way. Just go a long way. Sorry about that. I'm in LA, everybody. I'm in LA, and we got a lot of traffic out there.
We still on though. We still on.
Still on. So, but you have him. You put players in an uncomfortable situation. They have to answer questions about what the head coaches are saying about them. And at some point, the agent gets involved. At some point, the city gets involved. At some point, family members gets involved. And you don't want that. Just try to keep your words to a minimum, especially in the city of Philadelphia. That's my thought process when it comes to that. And I think he'll learn from this because they're definitely going to use it as ammunition. As soon as something doesn't go right, a play in the fourth quarter that he wishes that he can call back or doesn't go right, they're going to ask him the same thing. And then they're going to create a narrative that the coach is unsure. And you don't want that.
Don't want that. Not at all.
All right. Big week. Monday Night Football in Jerry World. It's that time of the year.
Yeah, boy.
Already. You got the Cowboys, Cowgirls, whatever you want to call them. We're going to the Big D. We got to show up. And it's just Monday Night Football, kid.
Yeah, but yeah.
Both teams are 1-1 for the division lead. Talented team they are. Talented roster. I didn't even know they picked up Malik Hooker until I was watching the game against the Chargers this week. They got a baller in Malik Hooker who gets the ball back. Trayvon Diggs had an amazing pick on Keenan Allen. So many different things that the Cowboys have. Our team always has more heart. Our team always have more drive. And they're going to the big game this week. And they didn't play well this last week, so I think they're going to bring their best shot coming in. Jalen Hurts is a Texas kid, and so I'm pretty sure that he's going to relish this moment of playing Cowboys. Tell the fans what Cowboys week is like, you.
Man, I can't even really put it into words. Like you just show up to work. I say work, but yeah, you just show up to work on what Tuesday, Wednesday, just mad, just angry, right? Like, man, we gotta play these. Like you just from Wednesday morning, that's 6:30 in the morning, you're just in a pissed off mood all the way up into game day. That's how I feel about Dallas. That's how I feel about the Giants, especially, but about Dallas as well. And the biggest part is their damn fans are so annoying, man. Like they just get on my last nerves. Like, first of all, they're everywhere. I don't know how there's so many damn Cowboy fans everywhere. They're just the most annoying fans on the planet Earth. And they've been spouting about these championships that happened back when I was in, I was in elementary school. Like that was the last time they actually won something that meant something. So, first of all, your fans are annoying. And then, Jerry World, big stadium, it's all full. It looks like a casino inside the stadium. And, at the end of the day, let's just play ball, right? That's all it comes down to. And it was especially for me, early on, because we had T.O. and then T.O. went to Dallas. And like that was like my first time like really experiencing like the hatred for Dallas was when T.O. went down there and how that whole thing shook out. So I've hated Dallas since then, and it's only grown more and more. So I'm excited for this week, man. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how many points their offense scored. I don't give a damn. We better come ready to play because it's going to be lightning and fireworks all game. It better be.
Yeah, they got some big shoes to fill. DeMarcus Lawrence is out for the season. They have formidable pass rusher. Michael Parsons was at defensive end a lot this past game, right? So I'm looking forward to the matchup. The Cowboys week is like no other week. You know what? You know what makes the Cowboys week special is all of the Cowboys fans in Philadelphia.
Yeah, like what?
It's mind-boggling to me that I would say 10% of the city is probably Cowboys fans. And so that's a lot. And so it really frustrates me to have all those traders near and to finally shut those traders up that's next to you, that's a neighbor, that's the guy that's at the gas station, that's the guy that you see in the grocery store with the Cowboys hat on and he's right from South Philadelphia. It bothers me. So it's our time to put their foot on their neck and shut them up for the rest of the year. So that's why the Cowboys week is special to me, because we have so many traders that are near, and to get them shut up for a whole year is glorious. That's why I like that's what makes the Cowboys game, special. Now they asked me, hey, what's the difference like between the Cowboys and Eagles? Is it like Ohio State and Michigan? I wouldn't say that it's like Ohio State and Michigan. Now that right there is knock down, drag them out, hatred forever. Now they've been kicking our butts, so it's not have been much of a rivalry lately. But that right there is generational hate, where you don't even say the team's name most of the time, and you can't I can't go into their stadium without getting batteries or something thrown on me. It's just not happening, right? We see the Cowboys so much, and we've been whooping on their heads for a decade. So it's not the same for me. My hardest time, the biggest rivalry I think the Eagles have now, has been the Giants, especially when we played. I thought the Giants rivalry was way more special than Cowboys rivalry, because I respected the Giants as far as how tough they played. They were physical. You knew that you were going to be in a brawl. With the Cowboys, we knew if we came out and were physical with them, that we would win the game. And so that's my mentality about this team. I still think this team is a soft mental team, a mentally soft team. We saw that a couple years ago when the playoffs were on the line. The Eagles and the Cowboys had an opportunity to come in the Linger Financial Field with a better roster, a better team, and they disappeared. And I think that's indicative of the Cowboys and who they are. So with that being said, I want to beat the doors off of this team and remind them that they're soft. And so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, front runners, man, all of them.
Always.
For real.
All right, let's get into the matchup just a little bit. We're not gonna get too far into it, but we know that they have Dak. We know that they have Zeke. They have Tony Pollard, which right now, ladies and gentlemen, is playing way better football than Zeke Elliott. Just to let you guys know, if you haven't been watching the games at all. You got Amari Cooper. You have, what's the kid from Oklahoma? 88. Lamb, got CD Lamb. Yeah, you got a couple guys. Wilson, defensive side of the ball. You got Van Der Esch, and you got Smith, and you got Micah Parsons. You got Malik Hooker, Trayvon Diggs. You got a lot of good players on this team, right? So with our team, we're less known because they have more national games. They make more, money than our team, and so on and so forth. That doesn't mean anything. Our offensive line and our defensive line is better than both of theirs. So therefore, we will always be in a football game. Jalen Hurts plays well, we win this football game because our O-line and D-line is better than theirs. So that's the matchup to me in a nutshell. We got to protect the football. They do have two ball hawks in the secondary. Can't be late with the football this week. It will be an interception with Trayvon Diggs and Malik Hooker. But I think that we're going to be able to run this ball and run the ball effectively, and we can move their defensive front without DeMarcus Lawrence. So that's me. That's my thought process going into this week. There's going to be a lot more tape to watch and get you guys details on that. But I'm looking forward to this week versus the Cowboys.
Yeah, man. Can't wait. Monday night.
That's going to wrap up the Q&A show. We'll be back with you guys again next week. Make sure that you're constantly tuning in. Remember, send your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Also, check us out on Inside the Birds YouTube platform, also Amazon Music, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you guys so very much for making this show a success. To Adam, Jeff, Hunter, Josh, everyone that's responsible for Inside the Birds, thank you guys for the opportunity to Manscaped, DraftKings, and everyone that's supporting this show. And Mike has the final words as usual.
As always, man, it's been a great time. I love chatting with you. Love talking ball. I always learn something, like I say. And, be blessed, man.
Yeah, always good to see you, my brother. Peace.